Okay, are we live? Can you check? Yes, we are. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. So today our topic is entrepreneurship. If it is for you, we have a workshop and we have different things, and we keep getting curious for different aspects of entrepreneurship. So I think this is a very important topic, and it will solve a lot of mysteries and clarify to a lot of people who are asking us very, I would say in a way, almost silly questions about, okay, my job is being very toxic. Should I start a business? I really don't see the connection in those two things. And then I had some discussion with Shafat about that, and we thought, we should go live and talk about it more. By way of introduction, I know you guys are here because you follow us, but let me just, recap. I'm Amna Razak. I'm CEO for Brand B Global, and also, Vice President for Styling Gates Investments. Our niche as our best audience is startups, and we work with them. We do workshops for them. We do branding, marketing, and a lot of other things. And the CEO for the company, the founder of the company, and the chairman for Styling Gates is Shafat Hashmi.
Thank you, Amna, and thank you everybody for joining in. This was a burning question for a long time, because since we started out with our workshop, The Winning Entrepreneur, we came across a lot of people, Amna, as you know, who were saying, oh, we are already doing a job, but we cannot give our 100% to starting off with our business. Now, if they're doing 40% or 70% in their job and giving it another 15, 20%, that also off the hours of their 9 to 5, they can't really run a business. So a lot of people get this ill advice that, you know what, and so many motivational speakers, which, I'm sure you're going to laugh at it, but a lot of people give them this ill advice. No, in a job, some people say in a job, you're secure. So there's a job mindset where a lot of people will tell you that, no, be a professional, do your job, make your savings, and after your 20 years of saving, buy a home, right? Or do your mortgage. And after 20 years, the biggest achievement is that you have one real estate asset. You still have credit cards piling up. You still have personal loans. You still have cars which are on lease. And the only financial gimmick that you play is that you pay for a car for 5 years straight, and then you sell it off, get 30% of the value of the car, put that as a down payment, and go back into cyclical debt for buying and changing the model. And so is true with getting simply a new iPhone if you're on job. You don't have extra cash, or you're praying 5 times a day, or going every Sunday to a church to make sure that, oh, the company may do better and I might get a bonus. Okay, so yes, that 9 to 5 mindset is one, but are you ready to become an entrepreneur? And do you have the financial means, the resources, and as you said, agility to take that switch, and whether it's the right time to do the switch or not? So I think today we will be really drilling deep down into our experience, that how people have successfully transitioned from 9 to 5. And in today's world where we have work from home options and we have fractional CFOs and fractional CMOs, what is their options to move into getting off or transitioning from 9 to 5, and why they should not transition or why they should transition. So let's take a deeper dive.
And exactly, that, and also the fact that, is that enough? Is the motivation that, okay, what, my job may not get me to the point in wealth and in savings that I want to be at. So should that be the only motivation to, okay, let's just find a business or start a business? So what are those key factors? Yes, entrepreneurship definitely is nice. If you see somebody's post saying, okay, I was in a boring 9 to 5 with nowhere to go and in a very toxic work environment, and then I switched to entrepreneurship and I've made 5 times my salary in 3 months. Like, does the reaction to such a post make you, okay, you know what, I want to quit my job and I want to do that? So these are some of the things that you have to really separate out. What is your motivation behind it? It's not for everyone. If you're thinking, okay, what I will do, I'm doing a 9 to 5, and then somebody says, okay, I work only 2 hours a day and I make this much more and everything is automated, and I have people on Fiverr, people in other countries who do all the grunt work and everything, and I just kind of sit here and chill on a beach and make money while I sleep, kind of a thing. It's really not that. You even to set up that automation and everything, there's a lot of work that needs to do. And it's not even the work, even before the work, a lot of things need to be in your toolbox. So
Absolutely.
Let's just start with that, Shafat. Who do you think is, I would not say there's nothing perfect or ideal in this world, but who do you think is someone those qualities that yes, okay, you know what, they are entrepreneurship material.
I think I personally believe,
Mhm.
and this could be a completely wrong belief, right? I think business leaders and entrepreneurs are born.
Okay.
They have they are born with certain attitude, certain values, where they have the leadership skills. I think in the leadership skills, number one is giving, and giving is very important. Empathy is very important because I think if you're not empathetic, you would never feel the pain of your customers. And if you cannot feel the pain of the customers or the pain points, which you really feel deep inside, you'll never be able to find a solution or to do something about that pain, which means that innovation cannot really happen if you're not empathetic. Uh, Giving is very important because an entrepreneur is so driven by their passion to innovate or to create that they would like to put all their time, resources, research, investment in their own selves, learning, and going literally the extra mile to put all those things to create that one MVP, right? And it could be a robot, it could be research of their new skincare formula, or anything, right? So, or an electronic device, because innovation does come from that giving nature. So they do give. They give people for free trial, and they don't really calculate because they want people to come and try the product or to listen to their idea. The third thing, which I believe that the leaderships people do have, is that they have the grace to receive, and that is very important. That's a learning aptitude. So entrepreneurs are usually people who don't have a very high ego, and that is something where they sit down and they learn and they pick up what is important to from the right people. The another very important aspect, the fourth one I would say, is decision making. Entrepreneurs are very fast in decision making
Agility.
and agility, of course. And decision making is so important that decision making has to be swift where it has to be swift, and it has to be well thought and well paced out where it has to be well paced out. So they understand how to give weightage to certain factors. For example, as you know that we are running our businesses together, and sometimes we get this email, please increase our salary because the inflation is very high. Correct? Now, do you really think, or have you ever seen me, or even yourself, or let's say we're talking about me right now, have you ever seen that I've taken like 5 days to decide whether I should increase the salaries or not? I'll instantly, in 2 minutes, I'll take it and say, you know what? Okay, he's looking for a raise, give him the raise. Okay. Because it's not a decision that I have to think 100 times or consult 5 people. All I need to do is look at the performance report. The guy's doing good. He's been with us for 3 years, 5 years. Inflation definitely is the truth out there. It's getting expensive. I want to retain the person. He's an important guy or important girl. He's doing their job good. They're ready to put more, and that motivation of 20%, 30% increase is going to make them perform 200% more than me hiring the next person. I mean, this whole calculation is done in less than 1 minute, and my email goes approved. However, on the other hand, if I have to invest $50,000 or $250,000 or $1 million, I need my time. I need to do all research. So quick decision making is really understanding which factors to weigh and choose your, as you did say, you really choose your battles. So I always choose my decisions and choices, and that is a quality of an entrepreneur. Another very important thing is, and I'm going to literally finish up with maybe another 2 or 3 points. Another very important thing in entrepreneurs is they're fluid.
Hmm.
They have the core skeleton, which is a structure, or I would say a strategy. So a structured strategy, a well-structured business plan, which is the core skeleton of the business. But outside of it, the flesh and bones and the blood flow and the core organs like marketing, sales, everything, they are very fluid to see how, because everything is interdependent. And entrepreneurs really are very fluid. They're like, okay, we start out with this one business, but if that's not giving us what we're looking for, they move on. And also, I would say that another thing about good entrepreneurs is they're not very emotional. They will create emotional campaigns They will sell on emotional touch points, which is scientific, right? But within themselves, they are not doing business or operating business with emotions. They're operating business based on data points, facts, and wisdom. And that is what really makes entrepreneurs very successful, because you might have this brilliant idea to be the most famous influencer or a podcaster, but if it's not making money and it's not giving you what it should give you, they're not going to get married to it. They'll just move on immediately, that this thing worked, this doesn't work, I don't want to do this. I want to move on. I want to try something else. And the last thing I would say, one of the factors about entrepreneurs is that they have this solid belief, faith. When I mean, yes, mine is a bit different because I was born in a business family, but I also did jobs, 9 to 5 jobs for about 6 years, right? And when I permanently quitted my job and gave back not only to my family business, but started out with my own business, I had ample savings, right? And I wasn't dumb to put all my savings into business. I took a risk of about 20% of what I had, with another 6 months of runway in terms of operational cost and my own living costs, right? For about 1 year. And I was like, okay, now I can step into entrepreneurship because I do have that thing. But the belief I'm talking about is, whether you're in a job, you can be fired tomorrow and you'll have nowhere to go. 3 months, 6 months of being jobless. And whether you're running a business and your business can incur a loss and you might not have a business after 2 days. So I think the risk factor is the same. One needs to have the belief that if you're putting in the right hard work, if your intention is good, if you've got your business formula right, and if you've got your marketing and sales formula right, there's nothing that should, undermine your confidence not to be entrepreneur.
Totally agree with that. And just based on the second last point you shared, I would like to add this, that sometimes we feel like, oh no, I'm a very good decision maker. I'm a very organized person. At my job, everybody appreciates my this quality, but there's a scale to things. There's a different decision making when there's a safety net, when you have a supervisor, you can write anything, and then the other party is going to double check it, triple check it. When you're writing content for a big magazine, and then your paper is going to go to the next level, the next level up, and there are two people checking it. Versus you are the one person where the buck stops. Whatever you write, whatever you decide, that's the final thing. There's no redos of it. There's no safety net around it. So what I'm trying to get to the point is that you will see a different side of you in that environment, and you have to be prepared for that. So do not go with this thing, okay, this is my passion and this is what I'm good at. Really try to be mindful and look at yourself from a third party angle, that if actually those things can be scaled, can be applied to those decision making, to those decisions which actually, like, maybe make you homeless in a minute, if you lose all your money, you have nowhere to go. So there's the agility part of it. There's also the wisdom to it. There's also this really belief that, okay, what, I am taking a risk and I have to believe in that risk, that yes, I know the pros and cons. And then again, as the emotions part, you said that it is important to also not fall for the emotions of different campaigns and programs out there, right? And you have to see that where are those programs coming from. It's if somebody's giving you a plan, okay, what, I put my 6 months in that plan and look where I'm at. Are you going to be able to do the exact same thing? Are you able to absorb things at that pace and make decisions at that pace, and then somehow expect the whole economy and the business environment to be exactly the same as what that person experienced when they wrote that program? So it is very customized approach. It is very different. The same entrepreneur, there's serial entrepreneurs out there who do not repeat the same mistakes, or do not repeat the same patterns, or do not even repeat the same timelines from between their first business and their sixth business. So what has changed? They are the same person, but they have improved, and they're also looking at the environment around them. So there are factors that you have to realize. So what I'm just trying to get at is that do not fall for somebody else's plan which says, okay, I guarantee you because I made this much from it that you will make that much from it. You are you, and then unless and until you are the same level of agility, of business wisdom, of connections, of your network, and the environment around you is exactly the same results cannot be expected.
I think that's some great points. So what you're really talking about is responsibility. When you mentioned about that the buck stops with you, it is holding yourself accountable and responsible for everything that happens in your company, right? And if I kind of expand on this notion, most of the people we have come across, they've just got their core ideation wrong, right? And having their core ideation wrong is where everything goes wrong because they've got their business modeling wrong. I mean, people go and take some kind of a course, some kind of I don't know, $10,000. God damn it, $10,000 for a 2 days event. All right, and a lot of people would know exactly what I'm talking about. $5,000, $15,000, $2,000. So people go on all these places to do all these crazy things, right? They spend the money. The question is, what are you getting at the end of the day? A network of people. If you carry on going into the same network over and over again, you end up meeting the same people, and 70-80% of the people that you're meeting are the same people within the community, right? The second issue is, oh, she has got a community that she has been able to build, and she has a SaaS model or a subscription model, for example. So I can also launch a community, and the best price is $50. I mean, why do you think that you can launch a community which is also going to sell for another $50, and all you're doing is copy pasting something that has been done by hundreds of thousands of women out there or hundreds of thousands of men out there, right? I know people, and you know people, we've come across entrepreneurs, Amna, where when we try to challenge their business ideation, their simple answer is, you know what? Oh, my niece can sell. My other friend has a jewelry brand. My fourth friend has a fashion brand. They are all selling on Amazon. They're all selling on their e-com. She made a skincare line, so I can do that as well. So if they're selling, I can sell as well. People get impressed by literally the crap emails that they receive on a regular basis and messages and WhatsApp messages they're receiving. I have launched a retreat, and this person sitting away is going to think, oh, I can launch a retreat as well if she's launched. Do you know how much of that retreat she has actually sold at that price point? How many people have actually bought into it? There might be 1,000 likes on her Instagram, but my question is, how many has been converted? Right? What has been the one? And why is it happening? Or maybe it happens only to me that, I have come across people in the last 3 to 5 years, or maybe more. They have this whole hoo-ha about some retreat, some community that has come. Their launch event has about 200, 250 people. They have sold their first cycle, and since then I've never heard about them. Because they can't scale. Because they don't have a strategy to scale.
Yeah. And again, especially in this market, we are very far from unicorn models, and somebody sits you down and tells you, okay, you know what, Uber did this and Airbnb did this. No, we are in totally different economic times. Inflation is at all-time high. Investors are, not as many investors. So if somebody tells you, okay, you know what, all you need is an idea, and they have stories about, I met this investor in an elevator, and in just like this 30-second conversation, I was able to get this much investment. Those stories are like literally history now. So, and right now, even investors are looking for sustainable business models, which they're not really expecting to scale overnight, but which can sustain, which have a plan to scale in the next 5-10 years at a very constant pace. Do you have that? And again, it goes back to the same old thing. Somebody else's story. And I think I have done my research. A lot of these programs that come up, okay, you know what, let me teach you how to have a business, which scales to 10x within this much, whatever. Eventually, it's about getting it from your community. Okay, you know what, go to your community, sell it to your family and friends, and and then it's more like a that they are selling you coaching, so they're telling you to sell coaching. So it's not for everyone. If in my research, the people who have moved from a job to a very successful entrepreneurship life with different businesses as they go, most of them, their starting point was sales. Was they were out there, they were meeting people, they were interacting with them, so they picked up ideas, and of course, a lot of them came a lot of it came from inside them. But that model is a different thing, right? When you meet some people who are out there, they have a different way of connecting. They do make connections. They do nurture those connections, and eventually they are able to monetize it somehow. Yes, that formula works for them, but will it work same for you if you're not that? If you're not don't have that circle already who does that, and even if you have that circles, big or small, you will go and sell them your product one time. But what's next? What's going to be after that? So it will be a good fun 6 months to a year of entrepreneurship, but after that you will be done and you'll be back to looking for a job, something more stable and everything. Because now what? This now what is the question that I ask everyone who is putting out these programs. Okay, you know what, you can do this. How are they scaling? They are scaling by going out there, putting all their money that they earn through these things into ads, into making emotional mix, so that they will, reach out to people who are right now not happy with their work environment, and somehow they'll fall for that gimmick and give them money, and that's how they are sustaining their business. Do you want to be a victim of that, or do you want to have a business which will create a sustainable income? And that is a decision that you have to make for yourself.
I think what you've touched upon is the crux, the core of what business has to be. A business which is simply not scalable and is not sustainable is not a business. And someone who doesn't know how to firefight when you actually go for scaling or exponential growth. I've come across people, a lot of people, who has come to us and say, Shafat, we need $500,000. Why? Oh, we are selling good online, and now we need money for inventory, and they're ready to give up their equity. Why can't go for temp funds or alternative source of funding, or having a bank or an institutional investor or somebody to fund your inventory and to fund your stocks, right? So I think that what's really going wrong in a lot of places is that people don't even understand investment structures, and people don't understand how to return the money to the investors and what should be out there that is biteable for the investors with fundraising and is biteable for the customers as well. I want to really give out some examples here. Microsoft. Do you think Microsoft is a brand? I don't think so. Why? Because the gentleman owning Microsoft, majority of it, or minority of it, he is more like a accountancy mindset person. Okay, and this is why they're very tight and they're non-believers in marketing. Due to which, every single time Microsoft launches something, they fail to brand it and they fail to market it. They still think that the distributors are going to work. This is one of the reasons that even if you go on Windows today, it sucks. You put up Microsoft hardware products and there's nothing super cool about it, right? Or computing products. They're not branded. Microsoft browser sucks, because they don't believe in branding. I don't feel proud using Microsoft. They're functional products. A lot of people use it. I mean, if Canva could come up and understand how to have a better, basically Canva is a faster, better tool version of Microsoft PowerPoint, the way I look at it, to design things, right? So it's somewhere right in the middle of Adobe, Photoshop, Illustrator stuff, and Microsoft PowerPoint. It's right in the middle, okay? Microsoft has so much money, could have done it. But on the contrary, if you look at Apple, Tesla, and a lot of these other players in the market, they started with creating a brand. They started with creating a brand positioning that they just shout out loud, we're looking for a raise, and every boom, money goes in. Google created a brand, all the colors, how the landing screen as a search engine should look like, how the results should appear, how the monetization comes in, how the SEO and the Google AdWords and all those things come in. I don't see any of that on Microsoft Edge. or on Microsoft Search. I don't see none of that happening. Then Google has really fostered to attract the best talent. They really had a solid brand marketing campaign talking about the working culture within Google offices. And that culture attracted a lot of Gen Y, Gen Z because they provided the culture to the smart tech, Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen X guys to come and join Google with smart, brilliant minds. Does Microsoft attract that? No. Right. And same is the case with a lot of people, a lot of brands out there. Amazon create a beautiful brand with a smile, and that's a great brand. DHL today works as DHL because of their yellow red colors and is still branded. You're happy to use DHL to send somebody something than an Amazon box, by the way, which is poorly packed. People like to send it by DHL because that yellow box goes nicely packed and it looks good when delivered on the doorstep. So there are these little things that can help somebody grow and somebody not to grow. And so is true with so brand and brand marketing is something that you need to conceive and perceive and budget out on day one. A lot of people I come across, they have all the budget to create their MVP or have their jewelry samples done, and they have no money to get the advertising done or to test the market with their advertising dollars. And then there are these fake gurus coming out, all sprouting all over social media just to get it in, just to become an influencer by coming up with a catchy phrase. I will tell you how to do marketing without money. I will tell you how to launch a business without money. There is no goddamn business which can be done without investment. And there is no marketing or advertising in the world that can be done without investment, even if it is your investment of time, money, or if you value yourself, your own investment in creating just a logo. That might be $10 to $10,000, but it is that $10 is an investment. There's nothing known as doing a business without investment, And just because these people want to have a catchy phrase to get their followers, people actually follow. And then they repeatedly receive all this bad, ill content that it becomes a belief in their head that anybody who tells them otherwise, they don't believe in it.
Yes.
And they don't want to follow it. Right? Same is the case when we launched our workshop and we're doing our workshop consistently is essentially because, okay, we have done how many? 60 founders by now? Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, almost 60 founders. More than 40 of them have actually been able to either bootstrap, have either received investments, or are currently revenue positive. Right? Why is it? Which is $2,500. Okay. Why is it that somebody pays $10,000 first, then another $50,000, then another $100,000 to invest in one of those stuff, right? And their business still not bootstrappable. Their business still not out there. They haven't raised a dime. Why does this happen? It's not the fault of the people who are selling. They will sell anything. They're scammers. It's the fault of the people who are buying into it. It's the fault of the customer. It's the fault of the consumer. Because they get their core business fundamentals wrong. And I personally suggest people that if you have not worked in a small, medium enterprise, and then if you've not worked in a corporation, and you've never been positioned at a position of leadership in a company or otherwise, and you haven't invested in yourself with the right workshops for entrepreneurship, marketing, sales, finances, and you don't have enough resources or cash flow behind you to fund your business, please do not try to become an entrepreneur. That's the bottom line. It is equally great to do a 9-to-5 job where you are the best in your 9-to-5. If I'm a janitor and I've got a 9-to-5, I want to be the best janitor in the world and carry on with my 9-to-5 because that's all that I do great and I do well. Until and unless I have ample money to open up my own little small business where a lot of people already know who I am as the best janitor, right? And so is true between me being a doctor, who's one of the best heart surgeons, and I have proven it working in different hospitals. Now I can open a hospital because a lot of people will believe, and I have a track record, and I have ample money and resources and connections and industry network to bring in more surgeons and have the right facility up and operating, right? But if I'm just somebody who just graduated as a heart surgeon 2 years into practice and wants to suddenly go around ask people that, oh, now because I cannot, same is true with all these sales coaches here in Dubai. We have met so many people who are telling and reaching out, we are going to train Shipat, your sales team in real estate or citizenship by investment. And every time I picked them up and I was like, okay, what's your past? Oh, we work with EMAR, we work with Nakhil, we work with DPG, we work with blah, 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 we work with DMAC. Okay, you work with so many, you work with, I don't know, Century 21 or whatnot. Okay, or Remax, right. And now you want to become a coach. Very good. You would like to coach my sales team? Welcome, please do that. Can you tell me, do you have a brokerage company of your own? No, I only do coaching. All right, you only do coaching. How much have you sold in the past 10 years? In all these 4 companies that you work, why were you the only one who was kicked out every 6 months from every company for non-performance? And are you telling me you're going to coach my 100 people with sales? If you got the formula right, and why the hell you can't just sell your own real estate stuff and make way more money than begging us to pay you 2,000 dirhams or $500 per person to be coached? You can make a lot more money by selling, right? So I have people coming, gurus coming. I'm going to work on your digital marketing. Okay, very good. You want to work on my digital marketing? You want to work and you know how to sell? Why is your own sales formula wrong? Why is your own marketing formula wrong? How could you get my marketing formula right when I see you that you're a 2 years old agency doing stuff? And the third important thing is the recent case study that me and you have to go. And I'm truly grateful that you actually told the client that please go with the other agency. I think that was a great email. And we come across these people. That gentleman is a 9 to 5, right? Towards the end, maybe you should narrate the story of what happened and let people know why people make wrong decisions and then make the wrong choices.
I think that particular incident and also many others, it's about that there's a difference. We are in the marketing space, investment space, we're an agency. We talk to different entrepreneurs, different seasoned entrepreneurs, big businesses all the time. So the way we look at things, the way our perspective is just different. It's not that like, somehow we get a special message from God, okay, what, this is where the economy is going. It's because we are looking at many different factors and we know the history of certain industries as well. So we can predict things better. Now apply the same to, yourself or anyone, any particular person who's doing a 9 to 5. What is their exposure? What is their interaction? They interact with, a very set limited circle, which is right in their industry, in their department. And this is what they talk about, 9 to 5, about that one particular thing. Our 9 to 5 involves everything from space tech to real estate investments to skincare to, just like regular coaching and emotional campaigns of to attract different things. It's all over the place. And for each time we're discussing with one entrepreneur, we are really digging deep into their niche and their industry. So this it the experience and the information that we carry over time results in a different perspective, results in different agility. We can really look at a pitch and look at a decision and make decision right away. And then we do come across that. There's sometimes these things are so black and white that I can tell from one response, one little message that I get in my LinkedIn messages. I can, before even looking at their profile, I can tell if they have been an entrepreneur or if they have not even touched it and just in their head imagine entrepreneurship to be a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with that. The what's wrong is not to realize that that they are two different things, and the switch is not that easy. And I will go back to what I started with. It's your intention. If your intention is that my work environment is very toxic, I don't like having a boss, I want to be my own boss, then that is a problem, because this is not the foundation of a good business journey. This is your frustration talking of your environment around you. If you want to switch that environment, then you have to do a lot more things, and and be like, okay, you know what, I need to fix that. But the fix lies in me first having savings to start my business. And as Shafat very rightly pointed out, we come across this problem so many times where it's like somehow somebody has told them all they need is an idea, and investors will write a blank check right away, and then you will have money to do everything. Even when an investor is ready to write a check, they will ask you, what is this money for? Where is this money going to? And you have to build teams. You have to give up at investment structures that when are the investors going to see their money again? There's so many little pieces that you really have to conquer before you can even sell a very good idea to an investor. And let's just say you get the investment somehow. You have a trust fund or some rich uncle and aunt somewhere who's like, okay, you know what, I love you, here's the money, go do the business. Even then, how are you going to spend that money? As we all know, in this day and age, we are in Dubai right now, and it's even if you have $200,000 or $500,000, it literally you can spend it all in one day. Money goes that quickly. So really, do you really want to lose the savings or the investment of your family and friends and never be able to sit at a dinner table with them with your head up high? Or do you really want to do it right? So this is the question. So basically, start. You're frustrated with your current job, fine, but then the jump to any program. Okay, what this program is saying, they're gonna give me a 10x business. No, anybody who promises you that is wrong, unless and until they are giving you their own business. Okay, what, here's my business, here's my team, here's what's happening. What, you come in and I give you on the paper, write down, you have, I don't know, 20%, 30%, 40% share. And yes, so the machine is running, and you do, you check your due diligence that it's actually producing a profit. Only then it can be guaranteed. Otherwise, no, it's anything which is like, okay, follow my program and you will also be making this much money. That's I mean, if
It's a
you
trap.
it's a trap, it's a trap altogether.
I would share three examples without any hesitation for learning purposes, and all three happens to be people that we have dealt with. For the sake of our confidentiality, I'm definitely not going to share the names of the brands. One business comes to us, great idea, great business leader, person I love. We sit together, we love the idea, they love us, and they were like, you have already done a great job for us before for our personal brand. We would like you to do our corporate brand and this new business brand that we are venturing out. Like, okay, let's deal. Give them a massive discount. And because of our friendship, we're like, okay, let's go. Once we went into it, they hired a team. And the team is offshore. And that team apparently starts working with us. 6 months down the lane, all they're playing is a bad intent game, right? We keep delivering, they keep changing. We keep delivering, they keep changing. And they kept on playing because the team that they've hired is wrong. And they've given too much delegation to the team. And the team has essentially delayed their launch by 7 months. And now, because that's an internal team, and so the ego kicks in that my team is my team, but you guys are vendors. So what happens is that they have not hurt anyone. They have hurt their own business out of their own ego and trusting the wrong people within their own core team. So if it is me and I know that my team is trying to play a game, deliberately delaying the launch because they will be exposed, because the moment you launch the business, then your next step is what? Sales. Your next step is execution. Your next step is hiring and taking it exponentially and growing. Your next step is advertising. Your next step is to put the money in for media. That team, which has apparently hopped onto that job title because they promised that they can do all of this, they know that the moment the business gets launched, they will be exposed. So what is the best way? Delay the launch and throw it on the agency. If it's not us, it's going to be another person tomorrow and a third person tomorrow. And their people are only going to stretch it for 1 year, 6 months, 9 months, as much as they want, and they're never going to launch. They are never going to launch. They have a brilliant idea, execution, operational control, really bad. Secondly, they made a complete mess into trusting and creating their own internal team who they somehow trust for I don't know what reason, without valuing someone who could be a great potential partner to them, who have really put their heart and soul and have given them a lot more value than they anticipated to really help them grow the business. Fault number one, trust the professionals than the unprofessionals that you've hired. Entrepreneurs make this mistake a lot of times. I've seen a lot of big business leaders make this mistake because there is some guy in their company who exactly knows how to massage them 24/7. And based on that, they love them more, trust them more, and they think because this guy does 30% things right, so whatever he says is blanket Bible. Okay. The second client we met, which is also very interesting and funny to see, and that is another gentleman we came across. Goes into a simple deal. Business is about integrity. Business is about giving your word and sticking to your word. Okay. If me and Amna sits together and me and Amna cracks a deal, I have another very, very good dear sister of mine. Me and her, when we sat down, we sat together like, okay, my sister, what do you do? She's a local Emirati, great, brilliant woman. We sat down, we're like, what do you do? She said, I have this about paramedics. I want to do this. This is my business idea. I'm like, okay, yalla, let's sit down. We sat down, we discussed the whole idea. She added more into the idea. We said, okay, how much would it cost? This much, how much it would cost. She said, deal, done. Khalas. Our deal was executed without fail. On the other hand, we have this gentleman, decides the deal, everything sorted, takes 2 months to compare proposals. 2 months. And then he's comparing somebody with someone, You can't do business like that. If you're making a $5,000 decision where apparently you have 11 properties or 8 properties in the UK and you're a real estate investor and it's taking you 2 months to make a 5,000 investment decision, going into a deep research and making documentation and sharing your process, you are not an entrepreneur. You're just this one lucky guy who got bonuses working in Saudi and spending that money and investing in the UK real estate and doing whatnot. And already the gentleman has a past where he has not only lost his own money, but he's lost money of a lot of investors that invested with them in a real estate project in the UK. He owes them money. So clearly he's not an entrepreneur. But the worst problem is they're not ready to learn. They're not ready to accept that the way we are taking entrepreneurship is the wrong way to become a businessman or a businesswoman.
Because that links with their current 9 to 5s, where they think that being this organized, this meticulous, this I can make a PowerPoint and that changes because your team tells you, wow, amazing PowerPoint. So somehow the same skill has to be shown that, okay, this same skill is that. I'm just giving a very layman example, but it is what it is. You have perfected that one skill in your job. A company has hired you to do something for them. It's not a skill sometimes. Some of them are, but many are not skills which are like for everything. So, but again, you have to be aware of that. You were paid by a company. Even sometimes, you were not even working for 70% of your day, but they were still paying you because you were an asset to them. You are their need. Now, when the tables are turned, you are a business and you have to sell it to people or sell it to other businesses, a B2B or B2C model, where how will that skill translate? You still have to have a skill. You develop that skill. You have to make a product around it. You have to make a campaign or a website or flyers so people can really understand that product. Okay, and then you have to invest money in marketing and advertising, and that's when that one skill of yours becomes a sellable, monetizable thing. But again, you think you can use that skill in comparisons and everything, and somehow people will be wowed about it. That is the problem.
The another thing is very interesting. As an advertising agency, a lot of clients come to us, founders, entrepreneurs come to us. We exactly know what we want because my sister did this, my brother did this. I will give you 3 websites. This is exactly how I want it done. You don't need us. If you are creating something which is a copy paste of what's already out there, and that has worked for them because they started 5 years ago, and 5 years ago that was relevant. Somebody tells me, how are you going to break the clutter if you're doing another copy paste job? one marketing formula may work for one brand. Otherwise, there is no point Coca-Cola and Pepsi having their own marketing departments doing their own campaigns. One of them could say, you know what, Coca-Cola's this campaign works for Pepsi, let's just copy paste the same campaign and let it sell. Right? Or Pepsi can say, okay, Coca-Cola has done this campaign and I could do. Or Procter & Gamble can say that, okay, Head and Shoulders campaign, let Pantene follow it from Unilever, and it's okay. Whatever Pantene is doing, but we're going to do the same packaging, similar drama, similar product lines, and let them sell as well. Why is there competition in market share? Because each one of them is trying to achieve solid differentiation. Brand differentiation, go-to-market differentiation, communication differentiation, content differentiation, media distribution differentiation, trade marketing, differentiation. So there's differentiation all over, trying to create an overall different, more immersive brand experience, right? But when people come to you and tell you, oh, I'm going to do a campaign, go to Fiverr. Don't hire an agency. You see?
No, because they hire an agency so that they can have some kind of, discussion, and they can yell at someone, be like, okay, now why is my campaign not working? So they are also kind of playing smart. They want a copy of that. They want to copy that success, but they want somebody else, like, in the process, liable for that.
Yeah, and then there's a second thing to it. You spend $30,000 on your packaging design. Okay, very good. After your packaging is done, you tell them, can we put $10,000 in your advertising media? They don't have the money. Why do you put $30,000 when you don't have, at least $150,000, $200,000 for advertising? So the budgeting at its core is wrong. People, founders saying, I have done this box, I have done this packaging, I've done this jewelry. That was the third thing that I wanted to say. Another client we met, they took over $300,000 from an investor. They created crap jewelry, poorly done jewelry, only one design, met us, showed us a business proposal, which was literally an A-level student could do a better business proposal than what I saw. And then they came to me and they said, we're looking for $3.5 million to create a luxury jewelry brand line. Like, okay. $3.5 million is not a problem. The problem is, what did you do with your $350,000 that you received before? You know what they did? All the founders, the women, they took the money. They spent less than $50,000, $60,000 on actually getting the product done. The balance $200,000, they rented out a home in Dubai, brought their families, started living there under the name of business. Do you really think that I'm going to give them $3 million because they just don't know how to appropriate the budgets properly? And telling an investor that, oh, we wanted to put those $200,000 in Dubai because we want to show our own lifestyle, and because we're working in luxury, we wanted the right PR, we wanted to be in the events in Dubai to showcase our brand, to showcase our product, and look, we are here on 3 magazines. What the hell? Where is your sales? What are you guys doing? And this is exactly my issue. All 3 of them, co-founders, were having a good 9-to-5 job, were doing perfectly fine in Europe, right? And then somehow they took someone's money and they blew that money, and there's no way to return that money unless they raise another $3 million. Okay. And when we approached them and we gave them that this is how much it's going to cost you to get your complete business right and your core model right, and this doesn't look like a luxury brand, you have to even change the name, because a 4-letter brand name is not a brand name. 4 words, sorry, right? It has to be a single syllable, maximum 2-syllable, 1-word brand, right? You can't have a brand name which is 4 and you're going to luxury marketing. You don't really have a plan to do the luxury marketing. So our issue here is, there are 2 things, and we really can wrap this up today. I think the first issue is founders and entrepreneurs are victimized and have been taken advantage of over the last many years under the name of incubation, acceleration, and God knows what. Why? When you go to an incubator, they don't really give you anything except for a co-working space. Okay. Or the people who are teaching them whatever, have not achieved nothing in their life. The second thing is they try to make you pitch ready, but they work on the pitch deck design and nothing else, and how to pitch, and tell them to become, they give them the soft skills to be a better speaker and to become a better presenter on a set pattern, which by the way is picked up from showbiz or reality show like Shark Tanks or Dragon Dens and stuff like that. Okay,
So if you
or
watch
The
it a couple
Apprentice.
of times, you're
Yeah.
getting the same.
So it's the same format, the same thing, and they think that somehow that 20 seconds or 60 seconds pitch is gonna work, and there's the whole drama of elevator pitches. There's nothing known as an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is something where I could just know it's a get to know each other. Nobody invests $500,000 on an elevator pitch. There is a deep down, there's a drill down, and there has to be all the financials that needs to be looked at even before a $50,000 transaction takes place, right? But they're not told any of that. Basic business ideation goes wrong. So this founder, poor founder, goes through 1 year of different programs. When he stands up on the stage and there's people like us sitting judging, in less than 5 minutes, we ask them 3 questions and the whole business model falls apart. My question is, why that business model falls apart? If they have gone through 1 year of training and hundreds of people have looked into their business model, hundreds of people have coached them, told them everything, and they have put all of that into it. So where is it going wrong that the final presentation gets chopped off and is never invested into? So there is definitely something wrong with the education system. There's definitely something wrong with the people who are teaching these founders. There's definitely something wrong with these incubators and accelerators who are taking 7%, 12% equity of these poor founders. There's definitely something seriously wrong with all these motivational speakers and these workshops and retreats and all the online education that's going on, because these founders, when they come in front of me, their business gets chopped off in less than 5 seconds, which means there's something seriously wrong in what they've created and what they've been taught, and the strategy on what they're going to look into it. So therefore, the loss is not only mine or theirs, it's the global economic loss. When one founder comes down, they've invested their time, their money, their family has taken sacrifice, their family and friends have invested money into them, and there are hundreds of families which are connected through that. All the things goes down. It's a total waste. Who is responsible for that waste of resources? Nobody. And one more thing, which I believe Amna is also extremely important. Yes, we have our workshop, which has done phenomenally well, and I would like to welcome people to get into that, because what we really do is we make sure that once you go and present your pitch to an investor, or once we take you to our own investors, you are not crossed out, at least on your business ideation, business modeling, and go-to-market, right? Because go-to-market strategies could be 10 different strategies. You can work it together, but we try to give you the best strategy, which actually justifies practically the numbers that are reflected on your financials, and not just a 20x multiple without justification from your go-to-market and your core business ideation, which is actually going to sell. And that's why workshops sell so well. So one is the workshop, which is taught by VCs, angel investors, CEOs, and CXOs, including myself and Amna, and some of our very close friends who want to give back to the community and teach entrepreneurs. And the second thing that me and Amna are also thinking to launch is, if you are a 9 to 5 and you don't have the time, come to us, give us 2 things. Share your business idea and share how much investment you can make in your business. What we're going to do is, either we're going to tell you it is doable or it's not doable. If it's doable, we will operate your business with your investment in your business idea. Obviously, we're going to fine tune it until it makes you 2x of your salary sustainably for the next 6 months. And then we will ask you that, okay, now leave your 9 to 5 and take over your business. Yes, we take equity in it. Yes, we take our share in it. And yes, we make a lot of money in it as well, but we are going to make money for you as well and help you with the transition by doing it ourselves with our own 2 hands and our teams. And I think that is what is needed, that before somebody tells you that I'm going to teach you how to go from point A to point B, tell them, I'm going to give you the idea. I'm going to give you $50,000. Why don't you do it with all these great strategies that you're telling me, right? And I think this is exactly where our confidence comes in, where me and Amna and our rest of the board have actually decided that, okay, some businesses, we're going to take up only 5 businesses this year who we are going to vet. We are going to understand the founders, their mindset, and we're going to pick up 5 businesses and turn those 5 businesses around, just like we have turned around at least 7 businesses during this year. And interestingly enough, those businesses we've invested in as well. Amna, maybe you'd like to share the press release, how we have gone. And in less than 7 months, they are now valued at over $500 million US dollars aggregated.
Yes, I think if you follow us on LinkedIn, you have seen it already, but I think I'll post it again. But we've been featured in all of UAE and the MENA regions, business magazines and business newspapers. And we are appearing on Thursday in an investors event to talk more about that, to share the case studies or the stories of turning around these businesses. So yeah, so I mean, again, this is what it is. We have our own stuff, and the reason we started more and more coming towards workshops, and now this, I would call it the inverted mergers and acquisitions model. That we are not exactly, whether there's some businesses dying out there, we're going and taking over. We are taking over the idea, and with this whole contract in place, that it's coming back to you. So rather than you falling for a gimmick, which is like, okay, quit your 9 to 5 and be your own boss. So this one lets you be the boss of an actual successful, sustainable business. So definitely, and then again, as it is it is something that we have done through different startup founders who came to us for investments, and then we became a more like went towards a partnership kind of a thing, where we fine-tuned the idea and used their investments and put in some of our own investments, and made it much bigger. But now we are sort of offering it as a product. So again, just DM us, or get an appointment, and let's get on a Zoom call and we can discuss it further. But yeah, we only have the bandwidth of taking 5 more for this year, because again, with a lot of other stuff going on. But yeah, with that, thank you so much, Afat.
Thank you, Amna.
I think well, this was a very deep down discussion. Sorry about if we are stepped on somebody's toes and thought of these programs and coaches, but it is what it is.
I'm sorry, but I'm unapologetic, Amna. I'll always be unapologetic until unless they understand. A teacher can change the fate of a nation. That's the importance of a teacher. Teachers were respected because they used to deliver with integrity. Okay? Today, teachers don't deliver with integrity, they deliver with monetization as a forefront. Be it the education system, be it the college loans, the university loans, and all the drama in the United States and the rest of the world. And how Pakistanis have been discriminated recently by British Council, which I don't know whether it's true or not, but apparently it is, because they have got bad grades and they don't want more Pakistanis to go in top universities in the world or whatnot. But yes, the education system needs to be fixed. And I think education needs to be at another level. That there's no difference between a pastor or an imam who comes out, picks up a microphone, and gives you all the wisdom of Quran, Torah, Bible, and everything, and says, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And when a person like me, a stupid guy like me, who's naive, is sitting there, and I say, Imam Sahib, or pastor, or whatever they have in Jews, can you please hold my hand and make me practice this balance of world and faith? They cannot do it. Right?
It's one or the other.
They cannot deliver on it. So if you don't walk the talk, why are you talking? Right? So we're going to leave it there. But the core conclusion here is, please, ladies and gentlemen, to everybody who's listening, do not quit your 9 to 5, as Amna said, out of frustration or out of this idea that, oh, someone is doing it, so I can do it as well. Please don't do that. Do your checklist. If you want to learn about the checklist, maybe Amna and us, we will launch some webinar. You'll have to pay for it because our time is not for free. And you should pay, so you should feel the pinch of understanding what it costs to actually get real learning, real practical knowledge. It's very important. Our workshops and this stuff is not our core income stream, but we do this so you value it. Okay, and there has to be a difference between free stuff, and there has to be a difference between what is quality. You always pay for quality. So do that. Also, there is a link of our winning entrepreneurship workshop. Sign up for that if you think that it's for you. Come in, you will learn a lot of things, right? And the third thing is, if you have a business, you want some advice, you want some consulting, you want us to be your partners, you want us to invest in it, you want us to lead the investment round for it, you want us to brand it, scale it. These are the things that we do. This is what we live for. There are a couple of industries that we don't touch, and we'll let you know what are the sectors where we do not operate, and there are a lot of sectors where we do operate. The third thing is that we're pretty global. We are not very interested in emerging markets or developing countries. We are more focused on developed countries and large population-based countries where we can get the numbers, the right user base. We are very interested in B2B stuff, which really has an impact and can execute something. And I'm definitely not interested in some lame nonprofits which have been created at home because of some cost. But we are very, very interested when it comes to social enterprises to fund that cost, instead of creating more beggars in the world with their donation programs, begging the rest of their 10 years without even having the basic acumen to create a social enterprise and stop begging and have the social enterprise fund their costs. So if you're really serious about some cost, we are one of the specialists who create social enterprises. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And everybody have a great week ahead.
Thank you so much.